Welcome back to the deep dive. We're diving into something pretty amazing today. You know how everyone's always talking about prepping for a new baby, the cribs, the diapers, all that jazz?
Right.
Well, we're taking it a step further today, going beyond those checklists to explore the emotional and relationship prep that's, well, let's face it, often gets overlooked.
Yeah, for sure.
So think of this deep dive as your guide to not just becoming a parent, but to navigating the often overlooked emotional side of this huge life change.
Absolutely. And what's cool is we found this blog post that really gets it. They use these journal prompts.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they guide expectant parents through like the less talked about emotional stuff.
Love that. Journaling can be so powerful, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it forces you to actually slow down for a minute, especially when you're like drowning in doctor appointments and trying to pick out the perfect shade of beige for the nursery.
Exactly. And, it's easy to get caught up in all that. But this blog made me realize it's not just about the baby. It's about prepping for the new us, the people we become as parents.
That's huge. And I think it's something a lot of people, myself included, don't really think about until they're right there in the thick of it.
Right. And one prompt that really got me thinking was, how do you think becoming a parent will change you? Like, it's easy to say, oh, I'll be tired or my priorities will be different, but this is deeper.
Totally. You're basically reevaluating everything, looking at your entire life through a whole new lens.
Yeah. And your relationship, too. It's not just about you two as individuals anymore. It's about, well, becoming this parenting unit, which has its own unique challenges.
Oh, I bet. And rewards, hopefully.
Definitely, definitely. But it's different, and it's important to be ready for that shift.
When we talk about these big changes, I think it's easy to get overwhelmed, like, whoa, our whole world is about to be flipped upside down.
Right.
But this blog post, it doesn't just leave you hanging in that emotional space. It delves into the practical stuff, too. Like how to actually prepare for this new chapter.
Totally. And it does it in such a thoughtful way. Like, take the whole idea of staying active during pregnancy. Everyone tells you it's important.
Right. Exercise good. Got it.
Exactly. But this blog, they have a prompt about incorporating mindfulness, and not just for stress reduction, which is important, but to actually connect with your changing body.
Oh, wow. That's a cool way to think about it. I mean, I've heard so much about mindfulness for stress, but I never considered it as a way to be more present in the physical experience of pregnancy.
It is. And, it actually makes a huge difference. Stress hormones like cortisol, when they're elevated during pregnancy, they've actually been linked to some less than ideal outcome.
Really? Like what?
Like low birth weight or even premature labor.
Whoa. I had no idea the impact was that significant.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. So by finding ways to manage that stress, whether it's through mindfulness or other things, you're not just doing yourself a favor. You're literally helping your baby have the healthiest possible start. That makes so much sense.
And it goes both ways. Like exercise, it's not just good for mom's physical health. Studies show it can actually influence the baby's development.
No way, really?
Yeah, their little cardiovascular systems, their metabolic systems, it's all connected.
Wow. It's amazing how interconnected literally everything is during pregnancy. And speaking of interconnected, that's something else this blog post really drove home for me. It's the whole idea of you're not in this alone,
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, your partner's there, obviously. But you need that network.
100%. It takes a village, right? Friends, family, maybe even a therapist, lactation consultant, whoever you need in your corner.
Totally.
Okay.
And this blog, it encourages you to think about that village early on, before things get, real. So important. Because let's face it, when you're sleep deprived and knee-deep in newborn life, decision-making, not exactly your strong suit.
Oh, tell me about it. I can barely remember to eat lunch most days, let alone choose a pediatrician.
Right. And speaking of pediatricians, there's a prompt about that too, actually starting to think about it during your pregnancy.
Oh, wow. That's actually a really good point. I feel like everyone waits until the last minute to figure that out.
It's true. But just imagine you've already got that decision made. You found a doctor who aligns with your whole parenting philosophy. It's one less thing to worry about when you're, elbow deep in diapers and sleep deprived.
Right. Total game changer. It's like assembling your dream team before the game even starts. And that's what I love about this blog post. It's not just about gathering all the information. It's about actually doing something with it, taking those steps to feel prepared.
Absolutely. And it's not like a one and done kind of thing either. Those journal prompts, revisit them. Because what might feel overwhelming at 8 weeks pregnant could bring about a totally different perspective later on.
So true. It's a journey, not a destination.
Yeah.
Right. And those little aha moments along the way, they can make all the difference.
Exactly. It's continuous, always evolving. And I think that's what makes this whole journey so incredible. It's not just about preparing for the baby, it's about preparing for the evolving versions of ourselves, both as individuals and as partners. Such a good point. Because who we are as parents today, probably totally different from who we'll be 5 years, 10 years from now.
Exactly. And being open to that growth, that's where the real magic happens.
Couldn't agree more. Well, there you have it, folks. A deep dive into preparing for parenthood that goes way beyond the usual checklists. Hope you found it insightful. And that's a wrap on this deep dive. We'll catch you next time for another exploration into a topic you never knew you needed to know this much about.